You know what would be better than watching this commercial? Watching your commercial. Join the party that is Make Your Day Richer TV by advertising your brand, business, or project during the show. Use us to promote what you're doing to make our viewers' day richer. 1 month of advertising starts at $200. Scan the QR code or visit makeyourdayricher.com/advertising to start promoting today.
Make your day richer than it was before. Got some good times knocking upon your front door.
Oh, welcome everyone to Make Your Day Richer. You know how when you say to people, I can't wait until I get to say I knew you before you were famous. Well, Carol Ebert, our guest today, knew wellness before wellness was famous. And so we're going to talk to her all about that. Good morning, Carol.
Good morning, Richard. How are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
I'm doing great here in Minnesota.
I know, Carol. Carol and I met a couple months ago at on an online networking event. We instantly fell in love.
Yeah.
We're both Midwesterners.
Yeah.
And you're so busy, so knowledgeable, and so ahead of the curve in the wellness industry. You literally knew about the wellness industry before it was an industry. Can you talk about the inception of that and when it started to click for you that it was going to be a thing?
Right. You know, I was working in a small private college in Winona, Minnesota. I was hired to be the health service director. And when I got there, they said to me, something's going on over in Stevens Point, Wisconsin at the Student Health Service.
But nothing happens in Stevens Point. So when something does, it's big news.
and the college campus, and it's called wellness. And I'm like, I'd never heard the word. And they said, you go over there and figure it out, find out what it is and bring it back. I said, okay. I drive over 3 hours and I'm amazed at how they're helping students empower them to make their own healthcare decisions. They had set up a little cold care clinic in the health service where a student would walk in and all these stations were set up and they would go in there and they would look at their throat, they would take their temperature, they would write down different signs and symptoms, they would decide that what the issue was. They give them some choices they could pick from. Is this a cold? Is it flu? Is it whatever? And then they would step over and get some aspirin and some cough syrup. And they did it without having to see anybody other than them taking charge of their getting healthier, finding out what's wrong and getting healthier. And I said, that is so smart. So I brought that back to the campus, and they were also doing fitness testing in the dorms with all these little test things. And again, giving the student, the power to make their own decisions about what's wrong with them and how to help themselves. And I said, this is like self-care. This is self-empowerment. This is you being in charge of your health. And I said, that strikes a chord with me because I was always looking for different ways to get healthy rather than always leaning on healthcare. And so I started getting on the bandwagon and nobody knew what it was. So I didn't know it was going to be a big thing, but I sure knew this was my calling.
And so what does, I think wellness, self-care, that's such to me kind of an umbrella term and it means so much and it's different to different people. What does wellness mean to you?
So again, I had to learn what does wellness mean to me. And again, back to where I learned about it was they had a holistic view of health. Wellness is not just getting fit and eating right. No, it is holistically focused. And so I always remember how to frame it by the letters SOSPIE, SOS pie, social, occupational, spiritual, physical, intellectual, emotional. Now, when you frame it that way, that's what true wellness is, when you're holistically dealing with it, and that you're looking at all the components, the facets of who you are, how you live your life, because it can be any of those things that can be out of balance that need correcting to bring you back to wellness and balance. And so that really opens it up to a world of opportunities to talk about different ways of being healthy.
Well, and how have you taken that into your own life and kind of made it your life's mission for other people?
Well, one of the things that I knew early on that I was frustrated. I started as a nurse and was frustrated taking care of the same people over and over again who are still being sick over and over again. And I said, I want to keep people well. This is not where I fit. So I shifted into health education and prevention, and that's when the wellness fit in there. And I was really finding my audience were people that were already sort of healthy but wanted to get healthier, or real people out there. So I was a school nurse working with healthy students and parents and community, and I was already in that world of prevention, we call it. But this was that next step. You can do all that prevention stuff, but if you're not really elevating the level of wellness that you can achieve, then you still haven't made the mark of getting to where we really want to go. And in that process of getting into that world, I started doing, I don't think I started exercising till I was 30, because I didn't really appreciate you're supposed to exercise regularly. So I started adapting what I was teaching, and I said, gee, I feel better. I'm even more well. So I was the one using it on myself, using me as a laboratory to see what can I do next that can make me even feel better. So I really picked up on self-care, all the different things you can do to be healthy, and adopted them, tried them. I'm always trying things, always looking for the next great thing. And it was paying off because I was never getting sick. I thought, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. What a concept.
Yeah.
I think sometimes in the wellness industry, there's a lot of like, do as I say, not as I do. So can you talk a little bit about the things that you do for your own wellness, and maybe some easy things that people can implement starting today into their own lives?
Right. Well, and that brings me to remind everybody that I did write it into a book.
Mm-hmm. We're going to talk about, yes, we're talking about that. Yes.
And calling it too busy for you, because, often I can't do that. I'm too busy. We hear that all the time. So with all of these, with all this trial and error, I find my standard operating process is, once I left corporate America working and had control over my time, and I'm working from home now in my own business, exercise had to be number one priority on my calendar no matter what. Because when I was working for a boss, I never had time to exercise, or it would be too dark to go outside at the end of the day, or whatever the reasons were. Mm-hmm. So always, I do jazzercise. I've been doing jazzercise probably 30 years. Wow. 30. And during the pandemic, of course, it went online. So I'm still online at home in my office right now, and I can do jazzercise right now because they bring it in every day, a couple times a day. So that has been a standard for me. I also am one of those Energizer bunnies that has a busy brain, and I'm always revved up. So I have to rev down with something. And so I've been practicing and actually teaching how to relax, stress management classes and things like that. I've done that for years, but I've been practicing it on myself. How do I keep that down, that level of high energy, to a manageable level? And so I've always tried different techniques. My latest that I love, it's called tapping, if you know what that is.
I love tapping, yes.
Yes, and that brings it down. It lowers your stress hormone cortisol, and that works wonders on somebody like me, who I can't just sit there and focus on a word, a mantra. I have to be busy doing something while I'm relaxing, and that works for me. So I do that also. And then the other thing that I have been doing actually for 15 years, I have a chi machine, which is it balances your energy. It's a little box you put on the floor that vibrates, and you lay on the floor, and then your body just kind of gently sways like that, and it really balances your energy, and you feel that the flow of energy when you're done, the same way you feel when you do tapping. So those three things keep me in balance physically and internally. And then, of course, eating. I'm a big fan of eating. I'm a big fan of
Yes, everyone should eat.
everyone needs to eat, but low glycemic eating, so that you're not pounding in the carbs and the junk food and all that stuff that really causes havoc with your health. And so if you look up low glycemic eating or a cookbook like that, you'll find all kinds of good recipes. It's great food. It's eating whole food. And that has also reduced a lot of the kind of puffiness, the inflammation that we have in our bodies. Boy, if you can go on to a low glycemic eating plan, it works miracles. So that's another one of the things that I adhere to the best I can.
I just saw a quote or something from Richard Simmons, who said, if you're eating like I'm going to butcher this, but it's basically like when you're eating healthy, it's not fun in the moment. Like the healthy food isn't fun in the moment, but it's the rest of the time that's great. You're feeling great throughout the day. You're less puffy, all of those things. And then when you're eating unhealthy, it's great in that moment, in that 5 minutes that you're inhaling the whatever food, but it's the rest of your life that's miserable. And so you have to like, what sounds better to you, 5 minutes of fun or a lifetime of feeling better.
Right. And I think that's the discussion that you have finally with yourself. I think we have to suffer. Sadly, humans, we have to suffer before we say, oh, okay, I'll try that.
Oh, there's a better way to do this. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I want to talk about the book too. It's called Too Busy for You. Tell everybody where they can get it and why they should get it.
And why you should get it, because there's 101 ideas in here to help you be healthy. And it happened because I was writing a blog for a nursing website and putting a lot of attention into each blog being just really well crafted and, meaningful and supportive. And I had all these blogs written, and I said, I wonder if I could just put a book together. And so I did a little modifying and all that. It is on Amazon. What I like about it, because I wrote it, of course I love it. I'm kind of that person that wants to give you the gift of doing it yourself. Here's how you do it. So it's really like a self-care guide to coach yourself on being healthier, with lots of questions that I ask you to answer, worksheets kind of thing. You can draw something, but mostly it is to set the stage in your mind that there's a lot you can do to be healthy, and it's in your hands, because really the core principle of wellness is self-responsibility. And that's different than we're used to, because I know we wander into healthcare all the time without thinking, instead of saying, what's my responsibility here? Because if we start doing things for ourselves that are going to get us better, then we will lean less on healthcare. And I think we are trying to recognize that both systems are important, but we don't want to just be heavy into one. And you don't want to be heavy into self-care and miss out on something that you should have done with healthcare. So we need them both equally, but you have to figure out, how do I not do so much healthcare and take more charge of my own health?
What the balance is for you.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
She also put together a great companion podcast for the book as well. And what I love is then everything's in one spot. I think oftentimes you end up, if you Google it, there are 45,000 websites, 45,000 different places to get all of it. And you've put all of it with your knowledge into two spots, the podcast and the book, which makes it so much easier to digest.
Right. Right. And even on the podcast, I made them short. I love a podcast that's longer and you have conversations and it really goes deep. But I'm just here to give you some little tips. Doesn't take long to listen. Some of them are 5 minutes long. Some might be 15 max. But it gives you that incentive or that idea. The idea, oh, I could try that. Today I'll try that. That you could do one a week. Well, I think I did have it like 52 of them. Or was it 26? Can't remember. I think it's 26. I know.
Enough to make it really, really good. Yes, yes. Can you talk also about your mentorship program and who you work with?
Right. So now that I've been through corporate America working, and I quit probably 20 years ago and went out on my own because I said, doggone it, I think I can do wellness on my own. I know what I'm doing. But what I really had to learn was it becomes a business, so you have to learn how to run a business, which allowed me to wander into that wonderful world of business ownership and entrepreneurship. But I also found that once I was learning how to run a business like I wanted to do, there was more to it. And I aligned with a wellness company that focuses heavily on nutrition. And I never really strongly focused on nutrition as an issue when I was doing wellness work in general. And I said, oh, this is a key area. This is like big. So now I'm deep into nutrition support and how you can really get your body functioning maximally for optimal health. You can do it. But when that came to me, then I said, okay, I need to really help people. So I do focus mainly on nutrition right now, but I also help people who are other wellness practitioners or other people in general who want to adopt wellness as a job, as a work, or as an add-on to their business. So, and because of my history in wellness all these years, I'm in that mentor stage. I have the wisdom, I know the history, I know what works, what doesn't, and I'm a great guide for those folks looking to either add on wellness or, actually have a wellness business. And so that has been such a gift for me to be able to give back as well, because for many years, I always had interns working with me, mentoring interns. And now I get to mentor business owners or mentor adults my age who say, I want to do something next. I'm not done. Yeah. So it is actually fun for me to just say it has morphed into the mentoring phase in my life. But I also see that what I have available to them is priceless because of everything that I bring to the table. And on who wouldn't want to work with me, right?
I mean, I'm lucky enough that I get to hang out with Carol like once a month, and we chat. And I am always like, you're one of the people that like once I'm to talk, I'm like, I could take over the world because Carol has inflated my ego so high that I feel like anything's possible. So it's always fun to talk to you. What is the best way that people can reach out to you and connect with you and support you?
Well, my website, you can go to my website, and it's recently been updated because, you have to update your website periodically. And I literally, on the same networking group that you and I were on, I met a wonderful person from Wisconsin again, who helped me, kind of upgrade things. So that's a great place to look because I'm trying to cover all bases in there. So if you go there and look around, you'll find something. Wellness coaching is in there. I know people are looking to get healthier and they want support and they don't know how to get it, but they don't want to be told what to do. And we don't do that in coaching. We guide. So that would be a great thing to look at when you're in there. And also the different programs that I offer. We have health education programs that lead into getting healthier and maybe being coached and using healthy products and that kind of thing. It's all in there. So you can go to my website. You can also, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, I am on LinkedIn. I am out there because actually I've gotten over the not the fear, but the annoyance of being out on social media. And I said,
Mhm.
hey, I want to embrace this and have fun with it. So that's what I'm doing.
Good.
And so that has been a pleasure too, as well, to reach all different channels the best I can.
You're so fun. And what I love it. I would need you back here every week, I think, just to hang out and chat. And what was fun when you do meet with Carol, like it's not, you and I have met and you've been like, have you heard of this computer program? Have you heard of this? Have you like, you know so much about so many things that it's like your own little encyclopedia when you hang out with Carol.
Ooh.
Go buy her book, Too Busy
Yep.
for You, question mark. And go hang out with her on Facebook. And she loves to interact on all of those social media platforms. So make sure you find her. Carol, thank you so much for being here.
I loved it. I love being with you, and your sweater is fabulous today.
Thank you. I'll sign it and send it to you.
Thank you.
Hang out like a jersey. Carol Ebert, everyone. We will be right back after this. Thanks, Carol.
Are you an independent creative looking to take your career to the next level? Whether you're an author, illustrator, or thinking about getting into this industry, it's time to step into the spotlight at the Inkpreneurs Summit 2024. This November 1st and 2nd in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, we're bringing together the best minds in the publishing industry for 2 days of unparalleled learning and intimate networking. From hands-on workshops with industry experts to interactive networking mixers, you'll get the tools, connections, and insights to turn your creativity into a thriving business. And that's not all. Our Fresh Ink Pavilion is the place for new and emerging authors to showcase and sell their books, right in front of passionate readers and industry pros who are ready to support your journey. Plus, meet our incredible lineup of speakers sharing your secrets to success in publishing and beyond. Space is limited and early bird registration is available until September 30th. Don't miss out. Secure your spot today and get ready to elevate your creative career. Visit inkpreneursummit.com to register. Let's give your creativity the success it deserves. See you in Winston-Salem.
I'll be at the Inkpreneurs Summit, so make sure you come and get your tickets now because they're cheaper and you'd rather spend less money to get there, and then we can hang out. We'll have a drink at the bar. Okay, I don't know if that's a wellness. I'll have to ask Carol if I'm allowed to have a drink at the thing. And I hope so. Okay, what else do I have to tell you? Today's Wednesday all day, and that means a new episode of the Wolf Media Fest podcast that I co-host with Kyle Hollingsworth for the Wolf Media Festival. And we have a lot of creators that come on this show. And the Media Festival is taking submissions of all types of media, whether you're writing a book or you have a podcast or you have a YouTube short. Is that a thing? Yeah, I think so. Go to wolfmediafest.com and see if what you create is there. And you could be on the podcast. We're having a festival next April that you could come to. But here's a clip of this week's episode. It's available on YouTube and wherever you get your podcast.
I really just started making puppets because I was following where the jobs were. And then I got into stop motion just out of interest, out of hobby. And then so there was a natural bridge from the puppets that I was making for live performance to puppets in stop motion.
Yeah. And then what? One day Katy Perry calls you, or how does that work?
No, yeah. I just started Wood Goblin because I loved. I wanted to keep making my own stuff, and similar to what you just said, like. Even if I was working at a studio somewhere, I would still get freelance offers. Somebody would reach out to me and say, "Can you make this dragon? Can you do this?" And I just slowly started learning how to take on these freelance jobs and how to, make puppets independently. And yeah, one day, some producer called me and said, "Hey, this mutual person we know recommended you. We're looking for these puppets for Katy Perry. We need in that case, they were like, we need them in 10 days. Can you, can you?"
The Wolf Media Fest podcast available, on all the podcast platforms. And there you go. On tomorrow's show, we have Julia Sorensen from Flowertown Players Community Theater. They have a show that closes this weekend, but you can still go and see the show, get tickets for that. She was supposed to be on last week, and she couldn't get her computer busted like 2 seconds before the show started. So we were going to have her talk about, she was supposed to be here the day after the show opened, but we had some technical difficulties. So she's going to come back tomorrow live here. We have all live shows all this week. It's been very fun. All right, go make your day richer. Go make someone else's day richer. I love you. I thank you all for watching so much. I appreciate it all. And that's our show for today. Thank you, Carol, for being here. Thank you for being here. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye, everyone.